We're standing outside the Staples Center where the Nipsey Hussle celebration of life is taking place, but we get a moment here with Romeo Miller. We just talked to your dad. Obviously, your dad and Nipsey had a very, very close bond. How would you describe your relationship with Nip?
Yeah. Man, I'll just say it's like a son that he felt like a brother to me.
Yeah.
Like when my dad talked to him, we're a very private family. I know we're in the entertainment business, but it's not too many people that came in our family circle that felt like family.
Right.
That's what Nipsey was. Like he made my dad happy. He made my dad smile. Whenever my dad wanted to talk to somebody, he'll pick up. When Nip needed to talk to somebody, my dad would pick up. So it was like family. So this is why this is hard today, but I know he's in a better place.
Romeo, you were the first person to take to their social media and share heartfelt messages for Nipsey. In that moment, what were you feeling? We obviously know that you were mourning, but walk us through that experience, because it was so moving what you said. It was so eloquently put.
Yeah, it's so crazy because I'm not as close to Nipsey as my dad is. Our connection comes more to where I seen how this human valued my father, how he gave him his roses while he was here. And literally I was in my living room and God was like, you need to write right now. I'm like, what am I supposed to write? But I literally wrote this poem and the words just start flowing out just of how I felt. And it was kind of a weird and vulnerable moment because I'm like, I don't want to write this to the world how I feel, but it was just something inside me and that voice of God saying you need to put this out. Maybe and now seeing, days later that it's been helping a lot of other people heal. Right. And it's been helping a lot of other people going through the same thing heal as well. But yeah, that was just a moment where I just felt it in my heart and I just wanted to share it with the world.
Some poetry, man. It was beautiful. Yeah. I mean, you're among countless tributes on social media.
Yeah.
From a bunch of artists who were really impacted by this loss. I mean, it goes beyond the music industry. Yeah. L.A. and the world is really feeling the loss of Nipsey. Why do you think that is?
Well, like I said in that poem I wrote, it's not about the music. It's not about the legacy you left, but it's about the person that Nipsey was. And that's why you see this reaction. He remind me of my father. Sadly, we live in a world where a lot of good people, the people who really deserve the roses, they don't get them while they're here. And that's why it's a hard loss for everybody. Yeah. Because now people are digging up his interviews. They're digging up what type of human this person was, the lives that he touched. And you're seeing, like, this was actually an entertainer, a rapper who had a purpose. He wasn't just making music to make music. He had a bigger purpose. And just like the Bible say, the David and Goliath story, God will use your enemies to help you get to where you got to go. So we're not looking at this as devastation. Nipsey, he's living forever. Legends don't die.
And we're seeing it as inspiration.
Yeah.
Right.
Couldn't agree more. In the program today, there is a very personal text message from Nipsey to Lauren where she talks about, from Lauren and Nipsey, where they speak about being each other's protection. Are we feeling a sense of protection from the music industry for Lauren now as she's grieving?
I mean, you have to. I mean, their love was real. I can't lie. I was literally maybe 2 weeks ago, I was looking at pictures of them in this interview they did together. I'm like, dang, that's the kind of relationship I want to be in, where it's just real. It's not fake, but it's real. Like, they've been together for so long. They still didn't know things about each other. They're learning things about each other. And I think that's just very rare. You get that real, raw love. And I know that's hard for her, so I want to send my prayers out to her, because finding your soulmate here on earth, that's a hard thing to do.
That's what's so heartbreaking. She wrote that she's at a complete loss without him. They were ride or dies. 2 kids from LA, I think was what they said in that GQ interview.
Exactly.
Yeah. How do you hope people remember Nipsey?
I don't want to say, or I'm going to say this, I don't want to be controversial, but it's kind of like he's not Jesus, but he walked that path of Jesus. That's what he remind me of. Like, he was a guy where he wasn't perfect. He came from humble beginnings. Remind me a lot like my dad in that sense, but he knew his purpose. And he didn't have to be here on earth 50 years, 60 years to know what he had to do.
Right.
Just like Jesus, 33 years was all he needed to make his impact. So he walked that line of Jesus, and that's what I want people to remember about him. A good guy, not perfect, but definitely wanting the best for everybody.
Romeo, you talk about controversial. Tupac, of course, 90s legend. Some people are comparing Nipsey to Tupac now as far as the legacy he's leaving behind, his contributions to music. Would you agree with that?
I mean,
I personally, I don't think we should compare the greats to the greats, but the many are.
Right. I mean, you had to look. He is maybe our Tupac of our generation. Tupac music maybe was like more popular to people at that time. He was known for his music, but I think Nipsey's legacy is going to be known. When people start digging up what this man was about, people are going to know what he was fighting for, and I think that's just going to get greater and greater. Like you said, the marathon continues.
That's true. All right, Romeo, man, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you
Appreciate
very
you
much. All right, see ya.